I'm Victoria. I'm Vanessa. Yeah, it's okay if you can't tell us apart. I guess we would call it Twingineering. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to our 5th episode.
So, I know Vanessa mentioned that something special was gonna happen this episode, and actually, there's nothing. So,
yeah.
Don't get your hopes up.
Sorry for the false advertisement, but we'll just get right into it. So, if you're new here, I really hope you started at episode 1. But I'm Vanessa.
I'm Victoria.
And this is our podcast. Usually we like to start with some weekly highs and weekly lows. So I'll go first. So one weekly high I would say is I did start taking a piano class. I did mention that I was going to start it in the last episode. And this past week was my second class. And honestly, I've learned a lot. And I love the sound of the piano. And I'm hoping to continue it. Yeah. Me and my teacher did like a small little duet. And I was going to cry. And then number 2, I just want to throw it in there. I did a panel this week, and honestly, I miss talking to students and being able to give my input. You know, I know me and Victoria do this every week, but we kind of talk to each other, so it was nice getting to meet people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would say my high was that I took a dance class this week. Finally, I mean, I took one like 2 weeks ago, and then I had to take a break because it was a long week last week. But I'm gonna try to take one every week now. Because I missed it. I'm gonna try to get back into it. If any performances come up, I'll let y'all know. But until then,
I too miss dancing. Anyways, moving on. Weekly lows. Victoria.
Yeah, this week, it was raining again. Well, yesterday. So I'd say that was my low. But also I had to take out my earring, my second piercing. I'm so sad. Anyways, might re-pierce again, but if it closes.
My weekly low was, it's not really like a really bad low, but I just finished my rotation in one of my departments. So I'll be going back to my original department for some time. And I'm just sad that I'm like leaving, but also, you know, glad to be back in my other department. And I've learned a lot. So it's just marking as an ending. Yeah.
Yes. Bittersweet vibes.
Yeah. Yes. Bittersweet. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way and my screen turned black, we're gonna be going into, we also like to share some engineering news, slash maybe like some important article discussions. And this week, what we just wanted to do, keep it kind of casual and simple. We're gonna mention some women in engineering who we follow and who we feel you might also find helpful and resourceful to follow as well. So we will put up a list of the names of the women in engineering who we follow, and for like a couple seconds, feel free to screenshot or take note or whatever. But yeah. And then moving on, so we also like to talk about something we learned in our current role, to let you know that we always learn. We stay learning in engineering. So I guess I can go first.
Please, because I forgot.
So this week I kind of helped one bigger issue that we had with like a lower block activity. It was just something wrong, like something wasn't machined correctly, and we had to do checks to make sure that these parts didn't make it on the line and into mass production. And honestly, I think it's kind of good to see like what problems can still occur during mass production because when I entered into this program, I was in the department that's like new model. So I only saw like, like potential concerns, right? But then moving into this area that allows me to see what happens during mass production, it's like, we didn't foresee this in new model, but here it is happening still. So it was a learning experience. And
Yeah, so for me, so right now I'm currently working on my first test report. So I'm a test engineer, and I know like it's kind of like a ginormous lab report, and I know people write lab reports all the time, but like this is the first one that I'm doing in industry, and so I'm kind of like learning how to do that. I'm getting into my editor era. But anyways, so there's that. Um, and I also learned how to calculate cable loss last week when we were doing this like 2-day test event. So that was pretty cool. I had never done it before. We were like working on it in our EMC chamber. So cool things are happening.
cool things all around. Women in engineering.
Women in
Uh,
STEM.
women in STEM. Also, it's a little late, but happy
Yeah.
women, happy belated Women International Day, but also happy Women's History Month to
Yes.
all the amazing women in the world, and a special shout out to the women in STEM.
Yes. Keep doing you. Keep being amazing. And keep inspiring.
Yes. We'll get on to this episode's theme, which is drumroll, early careers, common questions, and advice. So this is more so like what people ask, like maybe during a panel about like early careers or like what to expect in an early career professional setting. So yeah, we'll just start. So one thing, the first, I guess, question slash the first question, what caught your attention um to your current role, job, and what made you stay? Do you want to go first, Victoria?
Yeah, sure. So I applied to the company that I work for now through like an inquiry form. So there wasn't like a specific position that I applied to. Um, I kind of just like filled out this form saying I was interested and like listed my experience. And so it wasn't until the actual interview that I got to express like my interest in like a role that I wanted. And so they kind of like catered to what I wanted and created like a position for it.
Mm-hmm.
So and I like when they give me a tour on like all of their machines and like labs and things like that, and kind of told me like what I would be working on. And I think that's what really interested me. A lot of what I do is hands-on, and that's really what I was looking for in a position. And so the fact that I would be able to do that, like outside of college, I think that's what really grabbed my attention. But also just like the people that I met on my interviews, like it was not intimidating like at all for me. It was a lot more of like conversation. And I think that's also the reason why I decided to stay. Um, I'm like treated very well there. Um, things are pretty like lenient as long as I get my work done. Um, and yeah, I basically like expressed what I wanted to do, and they catered to that, and I got a position in what I wanted to do, and I work in have a good work environment. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, mine's kind of similar, but the reason why I chose to go, um, I was looking when I was applying for jobs, I was looking for like test engineering or quality engineering, and I was also really interested in rotational programs,
Mm.
um, because I did want to like explore different interests and not just like stick to one place yet. So this position when they reached out to me, it was like pretty much what I was looking for. And even though it was like across the US, I was kind of scared, but I was also like excited and willing to go. And then, the company like Honda did help me like relocate, and they were kind of made sure that I was taken care of throughout this whole process, like during hiring as well. And then, you know, for me, like the reason I stayed was also the work environment. The thing about the rotational program is that they pair you up with mentors in every department that you go to, so you're never left alone. And also, just like the people that I work with and the teams that I've been in so far have been really like welcoming, and it's, you don't know what to expect in like a professional setting, like what to say really, but like Victoria said, like all these, like it was pretty conversational and comfortable, and they made you feel like everyone like learns on the job, and it was a comfortable environment, and I have never been afraid to ask a question since I started. So it's I've really enjoyed it, the people I work with and the environment as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next one is, what advice would you give to prospective, professional engineers or going into these entry level positions and fresh graduates going into industry? I can go first if you want to think about it. For me, I would say just be willing to learn and grow. I know like sometimes you can, you learn all this, like in your classes and in college you learn a lot. But also like you do have to learn a lot in the job. So um, understanding that you can keep this like foundational information in your head, but also you're not supposed to know everything. I think the job also, you learn as you go through it, and also like ask questions and make sure that um, the job that you look for is a good fit for you. I think when we go through interviews, a lot of the times everyone's kind of like nervous and like, oh, like these people are evaluating me. But also, what I like to say is to, in a way, you're also evaluating them. Like, do they fit what I'm looking for as well? So, yeah, just be willing to learn and use your resources. I know, like for me, Honda has a lot of resources, like to connect with people, but also like grow yourself professionally. So, also use your mentors and the people around you as a resource as well. And yeah.
Yeah, I want to agree with, or just like hop off what you said. Um, with like evaluating the company also, or like the people who are interviewing you. I think that's like a really big thing. Like I know I wanted to work for certain companies, or like at least I thought I did, until like I went on an interview with them, and I didn't really like how I was like treated, like during an interview, like um it's intimidating, obviously, like you're nervous during, I mean, at least I am. I get nervous in interviews. Um so I think like really take just like behaviors from people who work at the company, or even like when you start working, like just pay attention to um like how things work, like how you're being treated, how others are being treated, and really take that into consideration. You don't want to be taken advantage of, even if it's like for this big company, like, I don't know, just know that at the end of the day, like, you, uh, what is it, like, your life, um, and your health is way more important than, working for some company. Um, and yeah, don't be afraid to like learn and like ask questions. Also, if you're afraid to ask questions, I think that's another sign that you should start looking for another company, or get to the bottom of that, because you should not be afraid to ask questions
Yeah.
to anyone. Um I always like someone will come up to me and ask me if like I want to help them with something or like if I'm interested in like working on something, and I always say yes just because, knowledge is power and no one can take that away from you ever. Um so yeah, and I know it can be like intimidating, but I would say like just try to like talk to yourself like um at least mentally. I know I do all the time. Especially because I'm the only like Latina in my team and the youngest one. So I think that helps me a lot. Um yeah, I would say try not to question yourself as much and like don't compare yourself. But I mean, obviously I'm still working on that as well, but yeah, I think those would be my pieces of advice there.
Okay. Yeah, I would also just add like to take everything as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
like
Don't be
even
afraid.
like the smallest like tasks as well. Like you've never done it before, like okay, but it's like you're learning. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
just
Wait, sorry.
be great.
I want to say one more thing. Like don't be afraid to fail. Like the first time I was running this a test alone, it failed. And I was literally panicking because the engineer that I was working with was like, I'll be right back. Like, I'll be back in 10 minutes. As soon as he left, it failed. And I was like, what do I do? But he was like really nice about it. Obviously, things don't work all the time. Like, it's surprising if it works the first time. So, and I'm just like really glad that I work with the people that I work with, or else I would have cried
Yeah,
after work. But yeah, so don't be afraid to fail either.
yeah.
Everyone does.
Also, it's okay to not know everything at first.
Yeah.
I work for Honda and I don't know much about cars, so and that tells you a lot. Um, I think the next topic was work-life balance. I think for this we can probably just say like maybe like how it is for us and how we balance the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so right now I think I'm doing pretty okay. I try not to work outside of work. I actually have not done that. Um, I mean, I get my work done within the hours, my work hours, so my only thing is that like I try to not be tired after work, and that's kind of hard. So I'm still working on like the life part, like being social, doing things that I enjoy outside of work, like dancing, um, just going out sometimes, being social. Um, and yeah, I try to make myself like lists and put things down on a calendar just so I don't forget the things that I have to do. Because it can be a lot when like we're managing like the podcast and like I'm trying to do designs and like I have work and I want to dance and I want to have a social life. So yeah. Um, I do my best to organize it all. Um, Thankfully I haven't had an experience where I have to like work after hours. Um, so I can't really speak on that. I really try to enforce that on myself, like don't work after. I mean, obviously like it depends on the situation, but um yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I like when I started, I kind of didn't really do anything outside of work just to kind of get, comfortable and get like a schedule going. I also try not to work like past, like my 8 hours. I think you should also have time for yourself throughout the day and make an effort to do that. But there are days where like I work overtime, maybe like 30 minutes or an hour, depending like if I'm already working on something or like on a project or we're dealing with this like bigger issue and you have to stay after. Or like sometimes we can work the weekend, so it is like uh voluntary. You do get paid though, and it's like good pay. So like sometimes I do it for the money or like the comp hours. So so yeah, it's kind of like my choice. It's not like it's like forced and but once I got like the hang of things, I like I said recently, I started taking a piano class. I've also started reading. During the week, I go to the gym sometimes after work, and then it's like kind of a schedule. Like I cook for myself and like prep for the next day. I do try to do things for myself on the weekend or like socialize with people, hang out with people if they're available. But also that took a while for me because moving to a new city, you don't really know anyone. So yeah, now I'm trying to just enjoy life and work. And yeah, if I do work overtime, it's my choice. So that's good.
So yeah, I'd say overall we're doing pretty well with that.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is how we have used our degrees in our current role.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or me?
I guess I can go first. So, I got a degree in electrical engineering. And obviously you can do like different things with that. I took a lot more classes like related to like signals, signal analysis, communication. Um, and surprisingly, my job is related to, well, it is like communication. Like the tests that I run are making sure that um there's the signals being received like back and forth. Um, but I also work with EMI, which is electromagnetic interference testing. And I actually only took like one class on electromagnetics because I was scared of like the whole like three-dimensional like math I'd have to do. I mean, I liked it, but I thought I would like signals better. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm using my degree. I'm now applying that one class that I took, and a lot of the equations, engineering equations. I didn't think I would like use a lot of them, but when it comes to like the math and like we talk about like antennas and like the frequencies and like just like things like that where like I remember like the stuff that I was like learning that I only took one class on, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's cool to see
Yeah.
it like being applied in the real world.
Well, for me, I kind of went into like a different industry. I went into like manufacturing, um, automotive. So, I have been able to use like my degree. However, I've also feel like I've learned a lot of what I know now on the job. I feel like a lot of it has been like mechanical, so a lot of mechanical
Mm.
engineers do get hired on. Um, but also like moving into the like electrical vehicles, and I know like Honda's moving towards that. So um, they were probably like, oh, she'd be good when we start moving that direction. So here I am. No, but um I've worked with some like engine parts, one of them being like an alternator, and one specific project or task that I had to be like in charge of was like this supplier was making like a new technology for this alternator, and a lot of people didn't like understand what was going on, and it was with the like the diodes like for efficiency. So it was kind of interesting to like learn like what they were doing and also being able to understand what was going on. So um yeah, I've been able to just kind of use that um whatever like electrical components that go on the engine, being a part of that as well. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah. I think it's cool though, like when you hear like terms and like just like something that you randomly learned in class one time,
Yeah.
like I learned like I remember I was like studying MOSFETs for a long time just because like
Oh yeah.
interviews. And then I was like, yeah, like they act as a switch and da-da-da. And then like it was like actually applied into something that a customer asked for. And so like when the engineer that I work with like was like explaining it to me, he's like, yeah, like we put it in and it acts like, and I was like a switch. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm a genius. But like literally everyone knows that. But anyways, yeah, so it's like, full
Yeah.
circle moment sometimes.
Yeah. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So the next thing we're gonna talk about memorable moments. And I guess we can tie in cool projects with that if it's the same. Um, so I guess I could start. Um, I'm actually gonna talk about this memorable moment that was during my interview. Um, so I if I'm like nervous, I either like just am awkward or like I'm like I try to be funny. Like because my intrusive thoughts win and I literally just say what comes to my head. But this time I think it worked out for me. So um during my interview, I think I told you this, Vanessa, but I was like walking around the different labs with my interviewer who is like my now manager, and somebody else was giving us a tour, and the guy who was giving us a tour had asked me like as we were like walking out, or both of us, like I don't know who he was asking, but he was like, "Oh, so I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but are you interviewing or are you already hired and just like touring the labs?" And then my um manager was like starting to speak and he was gonna be like, "Oh, she's, interviewing." But I like cut him off kind of, and at the same time I was like, "Oh no, like I'm already hired." And then like there's like people working in the lab and they like started laughing and then they both laughed. So I was like, I think it worked out because then I got the second interview and then yeah, so I think that's a memorable moment. Um, Sometimes you just gotta be yourself, you know?
yeah.
Um, cool projects. I've been working on the same project, just like applying different environmental tests and like functional tests. So, and I really don't know how much I can say about it, but I mean, it's cool.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes, sorry.
that's
Mm,
cool.
not a good answer, but
Yeah. Um, for me, a memorable moment. Um, I don't know if like I have like specific moments, um, or like that I remember one actually, but I think thinking back to like when I started to like where I am now, I don't know when like it changed or something, but like I've been able to like hold a conversation with a person who's like I guess in a higher authority than me, but also like embracing to be myself,
mm-hmm.
and then also I think I do remember anytime I make someone laugh because like I am so funny and people just need to have a sense of humor. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think the most memorable part has been like the people that I've met, um, being able to, I don't know, just build connections. I think everyone has made it pretty comfortable for me. So yeah. And then like projects, I think a couple times I've been able to assist with problems for certain parts, or part problems for the what was it? The pilot, the 23 model. I was like trying to say the name without saying like the codes because like I can't say that. Sorry. The
Yeah.
23 model on the pilot. There's like some parts that had like last minute like issues, so we had to like measure them. And like me at the time, I didn't really know like what's the purpose of all this, right? And then it's like, but then you see like the car when it's done, and then it's like, oh, I helped repair something on that before it went
Yeah.
like to the market. So it's pretty cool to see like at a smaller scale, like you work on this one part that's a part of like this bigger thing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the cool part also. Like at least with like what I'm working on, like I run tests on this thing that is like later going to be used for other applications, and it's like it's actually going to be used, you know? Like I think in college it's like, well, I could also just throw this away. We could just take it apart now, you know? But I think so I think that's the cool part. Just like it being used actually for real.
Yeah. Very true.
The last thing we have on our list is doing research on salary. So just like as some advice, like going into interviews, or even if you're like 1 year in, and you want to start to like negotiate that, I would definitely do your research, because it really depends on like the position, like the company, the location, your experience. So it all kind of depends, and you really want to like be informed on that and not just like go in and be like, hi, can I get paid like $100,700,000 please? And then it's like you're living in Ohio, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then you live in Ohio, yeah. No, but yeah, I agree. I know for me, like when I first got like my job offer, I was like, you know, like we did have a mentor, or I had a mentor helping me throughout like the whole interview process, and then like accepting the job and whatever. Because I didn't know what that process was like, and like, am I doing the right things? Am I not? So, um, you know, once she helped me get through the interview, you know, that was like in my hands now. But then them offering the position to me, and then I'm like, oh well, I didn't know. Not that I didn't think I would get that far, but like, you know, like you just don't know. But then I asked her also like, oh, is it what they're offering me? Like, is it okay? So then we both had to do like some research about like where I was gonna work, and what the average is like now, and like what the entry level position like entails and that kind of stuff. So um yeah, so definitely do your research. I know your salary is supposed to increase every year. I don't know like how much, right? Or
Yeah, I think it's different. Like sometimes like you really want to also kind of base it on like inflation, for example, like it should be going up at least whatever the percentage is. Um, like for me at my company, there's like this incentive program. So like after a year, um, my salary increases. Hopefully, I mean, I'm doing my best. But anyways, anyways, yeah, so like there's that, but like that's also like just for my company, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, but like do your research. You don't want to be like underpaid.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially like if you're a woman, if you're a minority, like Vanessa, if you have anything else to add, you can.
I do not,
All
if I'm not
right.
mistaken. Oh,
No, yeah, that's it.
yeah, we can move on to the Q&A.
Yeah, so we did have, I'm looking it up, sorry, a submitted question. So, first name, yet again, Beyonce. Um,
Oh my God, sorry. Sorry. Everything fell. Okay.
so the question is, the fans want to know, what do you do outside of work, engineering, activism? What do you do for fun? What are you passionate about?
So
Good
basically what we do
question.
out okay.
Yeah,
Like what
like
we do for
outside.
fun. Okay.
Yeah, just like outside of work and stuff, engineering related.
Okay.
I might just. Okay, it's good. Um, I kind of mentioned it earlier when I was talking about like work-life balance, but I like to dance outside. That's something that I'm really passionate about. Like in my past life, I mean like high school. I was just like, yeah, we were both like really involved in dancing, and I really saw that like going far, and then I like went to college in like Cowtown. So, anyways, but um Yeah, or I'm like I read more now, or work on designs. Um, yeah, I think dance is the main one, to be honest. I do want to try to get like further with that now that I'm here in LA again. Um, yeah, also like I do all the publicity, social media and stuff. Um, so I think that's also pretty cool. Um, I think I have lots of like creative ideas and I just have to figure out how to use them. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I wish I could dance more. I mean, I do try to like dance on my own time, like in my apartment. However, I am on the third floor, so I do have empathy for the people under me. Uh, and then there's not really like any studios near me at all. Sometimes I'll like go to the wellness center after work, and there's like these little, I don't know if it's like racquetball or something. They have like little areas, and I just like I'm in there. But then there was like this one time they were doing like a tour of the gym, and I was like, so I was just like standing there trying to act like I was picking a song or whatever. But yeah,
Uh,
so as you can see, like I'm also like not so like I'm very shy. So like when people like watch me dance, also like people who there's not like a dance community in like a nearby city. So it's like everyone kind of sees it like, oh, interesting, you know what I mean? Anyways, so for me, I've also started reading more like poetry books. Really I really like reading poetry. I think it's kind of nice how people are able to write those. And then I started my piano class, like I said, and I do want to continue that. I also went like thrifting last week because like there's like a Goodwill like 5 minutes from me, and I got this green turtleneck. It was amazing. Um, yeah. I also what else? Um, yeah, I also started going to the gym after work. Um, not like super intensely. I do want to be like more consistent, however, but also if I work like overtime like an hour or whatever, I'm like not today because I also do try to get 8 hours of sleep because I'm not a morning person and I have to wake up at like 4:30. So yeah, I've just also been kind of trying to prioritize myself and like my health and mental health. So yeah,
yeah. I also really like to paint my nails.
me too, but I have to
Like
get them.
I have like a whole box of like nail polishes. I think it helps because like so my nails like grow long, so I just like to like sometimes if I'm like in a mood, I just like repaint them because I'm like I need some change in my life. But yeah. Coffee shops. Coffee shop. I love going to coffee shops.
Me
Trying new
too.
ones. That's another thing. Music. Music is another thing. I will go to like live music events. I would say concerts, but not like big ones. Um,
Yeah.
what else? What else makes me sound interesting? Just
I
kidding.
think I also like going to coffee shops, like just one downtown, I like going. I
Yeah.
also like trying new restaurants. Um, that's always fun. Um,
Yeah, I think that's it.
so far, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of other stuff we can add on, but we don't want to make this like an hour. So ask another question next week, we'll get into it further. But yeah, I think that's all we had today for our episode 5, correct? So we can just close it off now. In your
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, so make sure you stay tuned for our next episode coming in 2 weeks. We do upload a video every other week, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok. I think that's all we have.
Yeah,
But
we also have our YouTube channel where you will
oh yeah,
find this video.
that's true. And yeah, stay tuned. You can follow our individual accounts as well. And then also on our website, you would find Did I mention our website? We also have a
No, I was
website.
gonna say, yeah, go to our website, visit our website.
You'll find everything there, what we've been featured on these episodes, and also more about Latingeniera. And Victoria, would you like to talk about it?
Yes, so I do this at the end of every episode, but just a reminder that we do have a Latingeniera tab on our website that takes you to the Redbubble page for that. All of the funds that I receive through that and all the sales that I make will be going towards supporting Latinas and minorities in engineering. So definitely support that. Or if you can't afford to buy something at this time, definitely share it. Tell a friend, maybe they might be interested. This is the way that we kind of want to support like our community at this time. I mean, obviously we want to do more, but for now, and I'm gonna try to upload like designs every month, so stay updated with that and be supportive.
Yeah. Woo.
Well,
But
thank
yeah.
you all.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for supporting us. We hope to provide as many. We hope to be as resourceful as we can be. But yeah, see you next week, or you will see us because we cannot see you.
Exactly. Okay. Episode 6 later. Okay, bye.
On the way. Bye.